The 747th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Just go to edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN. And finally, we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hi-ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 747 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to my co-host, Gummy Breland. He's having his flu game today, but he's here for your listening pleasure because I am not giving you prelim picks on Oktagon 66. I guess I could, but it would be Topology picks, and you don't want that. Who am I? I am the Canadian capitalist, Jeff Fox, and as you can see by the title, today is all about Oktagon. Oktagon, one of our favorite promotions on this here podcast. They have an event running in Düsseldorf, Germany this coming weekend, and we're covering it for you as we like to do. It's February already when this event happens. Wow, February the 1st on Saturday. So I'm guessing it won't be that long of an episode because my co-host is trying not to vomit, and I don't know how much he can say about 1-0 versus 0-0 fighters are going to be covering today.
I know a lot about him.
See, all right, there he is, Daniel Gumby. Everyone, put your masks on now so you don't get sick. Hi, guy who was just telling me how he never gets sick.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I had a head cold like a week ago, and people were like, "Your voice sounds terrible," and I was like, "Oh yeah." Today. I was like, "That's my flu game." And jokingly about a head cold, and then we're actually getting a flu game today. We got. I don't think we're sponsored by this company, so like some yellow sports drink. Trying to keep me going for this. Obviously, I'm bundled up a little bit more than I usually am, but with that being said, it's we got to get the Oktagon picks to the people. Yeah. So we're gonna do that, and I'm just gonna throw this one out there too. We can't not dedicate this episode also to Steven Asplund.
That was gonna be tomorrow's, but okay.
Well, we're gonna talk about it today.
I will anyway.
Yeah. Because not only did he win, like we predicted him to, not only did I project the line exactly correct, I said -350 favorite. He was a -350 favorite.
Yeah.
Not only did I project him to win correctly, but also if you go back and listen to the tape, I projected that he win by standing TKO, which is exactly what he did, which he commented on our video. He gave me props for saying nice things about him, and then also was like, "Holy crap, you predicted it right," which is pretty cool when he goes back and listens to it after the fact. So, shout out to Steven Asplund.
Yeah, I watched that fight this morning. Yeah.
He was a butcher. I mean, I called him a butcher before that fight. His teammate called him he just carving that dude up for what was it, 10 minutes until they called it.
And Hammer was a hammerhead because he was not going down. He was
which is kind of what I said, why I thought the standing TKO was in play. It's like that dude, regardless of how hard he was getting hit, was just not moving.
Yeah, you weren't just throwing that out randomly. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, exactly. How did you do on the weekend? You want to talk about that, or you want to save that for another?
We can do a quick recap. I was trying to total things up, but didn't have necessarily the stamina to do so. But I do know we were up about 4 units on the weekend in total. That's 24 picks. Certainly helped that we hit a plus 425 underdog.
Yeah.
And then an underdog in the co-main LFA and the underdog in the main event. We hit 2 out of the 3 underdogs in title fights, which is pretty awesome. So that led us a little over 4 units. It was like 4.5 units and got us right about back to even after that kind of ugly start at Aries early in the year.
You hit 2 out of 3 dogs. You're going to have a pretty good weekend. Yeah. And shout out to the guy. I'll assume it's the guy because they're all guys who is had such a strong opinion on the MMA Barbie. Holy moly.
They were really mad about her.
He was going nuts about her. And then she ended up winning. So take it.
And so first of all, she didn't think she won, which is kind of crazy. Because it was a close fight. Could have gone either way. Was a split decision, sort of by definition. It could go either way.
Yeah.
But like I just think her punches do more. I love Bowers. I love Cheyenne Bowers. I think she belongs in the UFC one day too. But like the physicality is just too much. And to just get clipped one time with an overhand right and people to write you off, she made a girl pee in the cage not that long ago. You know, exactly. she hit a bulldog choke on a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, passed her out and made her pee in the cage. And for some reason, we're like, oh yeah, but she got punched once and it hurt her. And it's like, yeah, it's not time to write Shannon Clark off yet. Yes, you know, she's the champ now, and I think we're gonna see plenty more of her.
Yeah, it's funny the limbs that people go out to die on. Anyone having a strong opinion on Shannon Clark either way is interesting. That's the type of people that we are dealing with. We are the true MMA degens of the world, which is good, which is fine. You can have your opinions. The fact that people know who she is the important thing. All right, before we dive into Düsseldorf, Gumby's got some energy here, so we should take advantage of it. I got to tell you that in honor of the big game, I'm assuming the Super Bowl, from now until February the 9th, 15% off everything in the SGPN merch store with the promo code Big Game, all one word. Get this cool hat I'm wearing. Get all our SGPN merch. There's always new MMA gambling podcast gear in there as well, so check it all out. All right, Oktagon.
They got some cool new DGen hats.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I love those very, very nice new hat design. I'm gonna have to get next time I get an order from the store. Yes, good shout out there. Oktagon 66, Ighzawi versus Salomon, Düsseldorf, Germany, February the 1st. As I'm slurring it, is this coming Saturday, noon Eastern. So actually, it's gonna be multiple screen event because UFC starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday. So get your screens fired up.
Starts at 9 a.m. this weekend.
Yeah, 9 for the pre. Yeah, you would like that having little kids. 9 for the prelims, noon for the main card. Yep. There you go. This one is broadcast on the Oktagon website. PSD Bank Dome is where, if you want to go to it in Düsseldorf, Germany, is where it's taking place. We got 11 bouts. We're covering 10. I'm interested in why.
No, we got 11.
Okay, we're doing all of them. Good. So I was wondering why we're covering the full.
The reserve bout came in late, and I updated that thing I sent you. Oh, okay. So it should say 11. Only 5 today. 6
okay, good. Because I'm not ready for the other one. So we're doing Adjuvand and Onyx Chuck as well. Okay, good. I was thinking maybe you were saving that for the lightning round, just to be cheeky. But okay, good. Just to make people mad. All right, let's kick things off. We, as the title of the episode says, we're doing prelims today. And we're starting with the female bantamweight fight. Sara Luzar Smajić. She's from Croatia, I believe. Yep. Yes. Danielle Misteli. She is up against, she's not from Croatia. She's from, I think, Switzerland. Oh, yes. Switzerland, 3 5-minute rounds if they need it. 135. Kicking off the fight card. Let's get into it after it's not on my phone. It's on my spreadsheet. Here we go. Misteli. No odds yet. Have dropped for Oktagon.
Yes,
more of a mid. Oh, they have.
I got them.
What site? Oh, actually, do we have a? Yeah, we're covered by someone now. So don't tell me what site. I will.
You can use the amalgamation site. We'll have it for you.
Okay. Excellent. All right. One moment. Everyone, okay, I got the odds now. We're good. All right, I'm going to tell you about Misteli first. You've seen the odds, I assume, since you said we have odds, right?
Yeah.
All right. Misteli is the dog, so that's where I was headed anyhow. She's 3-4. Not surprisingly, she's a dog with 2 submissions. Knocked out once, submitted 3 times, so finished in all their fights. This is her debut in Oktagon. She won 2 straight, so that's good. Before that, she lost 2 straight. Used to fight at featherweight plus 450. Smajić Guerrera. So she's a warrior. 4-2 with 1 knockout, never been finished in a fight. This is her debut in Oktagon as well. She's gone 4-1 over her last 5, but she did lose her last fight. She went 2-1 in KSW, so she has fought at a high level. Used to fight down a weight class, so 125, up a weight class 145. 19 years younger than Misteli, because Misteli, I believe, is 48. I think.
Really?
She started. I saw she started when she was 46, and that article was from 2022.
That's wild. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Smajić minus 800.
I mean, it makes sense. Now that I've seen her fight a couple of times, and now oh, okay, that makes sense. She's like somebody who got in MMA really old. And actually, she's fought some crazy competition for somebody who started so late. She fought Cecily Bolander, the champ. Mm-hmm. She fought I think her pro debut was against the now UFC fighter, if I'm not mistaken. And then she fought the same girl twice in the other 2 fights who was also legit. So she's got a really impressive record considering. I'm going Smajić. there are things I don't like about Smajić. You might remember she was supposed to fight Cecily Bolander before Bolander got pulled for that title fight and wound up winning it. I picked Bolander because I thought Smajić, she just like leans forward on her punches a lot. She's kind of like,
that's a big no-no for Gumby.
Yeah, no she's kind of like hunched over, not like full Keith Jardine, but like getting close. Yeah, there's a pull for you.
No one is ever a full Keith Jardine except Keith Jardine.
Don't go full Keith Jardine. Yeah, so like she leans forward a little bit with her strikes, and obviously that's not good. Some of her fundamentals sort of lack. But the bottom line is she's got some kind of like surprising power. And like not in that she's like knocking tons of people out, but like if any of the fighters you've seen her fight, when she lands a right hand on them, they suddenly seem like they're bummed about having to exchange with her. Like they want no part of it anymore. And like that's really telling, I think, at women's bantamweight. Like if you're packing a punch like that. And if you watch Misteli, pretty much every single one of her losses, if somebody moves forward and is punching, she looks afraid to get hit. And that's before she gets hit. And so like this is the worst kind of matchup for her. Somebody who's going to get right in her face, who's going to throw a jab, load up on a 2 and hurt you because she's been hurting everybody she's fought. And you got like a 48-year-old Swiss woman who like doesn't like getting hit. Like that's a recipe for disaster. So yeah, I like Smajić. Obviously crazy inflated odds. I think they're giving her a layup because she, kind of lost her Cecily Bolander fight. And like, I'm fine with it. Let her roll.
As for Misteli, Melissa Mullins is who she made her debut against. So yeah.
And the other girl she fought twice was somebody
Larissa Nijaman. It's a very dangerous name.
I have to tell you, I know nothing about that fighter, but I did know that I wanted to try to get you to say that.
Is that why? That's not very nice.
Feel free to look it up on Tapology, ladies.
It's very dangerous. It's very close to a cancellation name. I don't know why you want to get our show canceled by me having a slip up, but nope.
I just wanted to hear you try or sweat a little bit.
No slip up. I'm a professional to the core. All right, as is Gumby because he's making it through this flu game. All right, before we jump on to our next troublemaking possibility, Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstake site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. That's edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. That's edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, and they have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. So make sure you check out the MMA odds over there. And here's the important part. When you head to mybookie.ag, use our promo code special for our show, MMA SGPN. For a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. Win for you, win for us. All right, moving on to the next fight. Up the card, I believe we're just going straight up the card because we're doing every fight, so of course we are. All right, next one is a men's welterweight fight. Zoran Solaja from Germany. Lucas Eliáš, not from Germany. Lukáš, probably Eliáš. He is from the Slovak Republic. 3 5-minute rounds. We'll tell you about Eliáš first. Tong Po is the nickname. 4-0, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. So he's finished everyone. 1-0 in Oktagon. He's fight at middleweight plus 105. Solaja 2-1 with 2 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds. Damn it, they both do. Sorry. This is his debut in Oktagon. He's fight at 185 as well. 2 inches taller than Eliáš, minus 138.
Is it his debut in Oktagon? Didn't he fight Mark Bartle?
Solaja?
Yeah.
You think he fought in Oktagon? Let me check. I could be wrong.
I
don't have the Oh, you're right. 0-1 in Oktagon.
And he lost to Mark Bartle. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Solaja in this fight. I think the bottom line is that like he is clearly him and his brother, who we're gonna talk about a little bit later on, Daniel. They both come from a boxing and kickboxing background. They kind of entered the sport late. He's 33, has 3 pro fights. Lots of kickboxing, lots of boxing, and his hands are good. I do dislike how he looks when he gets rushed, or at least when he gets rushed by Mark Bartle, which I guess is a whole different animal. That dude.
It wasn't Mark Bartle, by the way.
No, it's his brother
Daniel
fought Bartle.
Daniel Hromic.
And his brother fought Bartle.
Maybe. The Solaja brothers.
One of them fought Bartle. But anyway, when he gets backed up and he is backpedaling, he doesn't look good. He looks panicked, and probably because he's a boxer and hasn't ever had to deal with that kind of fight. Like he's never dealt with somebody bull rushing him and like also kind of looking for a takedown or trying to get into the clinch. And like it shows, because when it happens, it's bad. But with that being said, I do think his boxing is really good. And if you watch Eliáš, man, this dude is so bad on the feet. And I don't mean to be, you know me, I try not to disparage fighters too much, but like he looks completely out of his element. He turned his back in a bunch of fights that I watched, like, and not even when he was like stunned or hurt. Like somebody threw a 1-2 down the middle, the jab landed, the straight didn't, and he turned and ran. And I was like, what is he doing? And then luckily in that fight, that guy ended up getting tired, shot a takedown, and then just like laid on the floor, like almost motionless. And
that's what I would do.
Yeah, that it looked like what would happen if you were in an MMA fight. And then he circled to his back and sunk in a choke, and the guy barely moved and won. And I was like, these are the wins that are on this guy's record, as like, an opponent like essentially giving up in the middle of the fight. And so like for me, yeah, maybe Solaja's grappling is not all that good. But actually I think he'll stay safe enough if it does go to the ground. And he's going to be so much better on the feet. And actually one of the reasons I do think he'll stay safe on the ground is in his lone loss, he gets in this position on the ground where he's clearly going for like jiu-jitsu escapes, but like jiu-jitsu escapes that clearly leave your head open to be punched repeatedly. And that's bad against somebody who wants to punch your head. But like Eliáš is just looking for a sub anyway. And so he's not really looking for hardly any ground and pound. So like I even think his like jiu-jitsu first mentality on defense is going to serve him well in this fight. And then like that's if it goes to the ground, I think he's just going to blast him on the feet.
All right, there you go. Yeah, not good to fight like I would fight. So never good. Good All right. How can Gumby know anything about these two people? We shall find out. Tamerlan, Dulatov.
Know a lot about Tamerlan.
Germany, Ghith, Ighzawi from Kuwait. And these guys are, what weight did I say these gentlemen are?
So 175 catch weight according to the
site. Yes, it says one. Is that what Topology says? Topology has it. Yeah, 176.
They give the leeway pound.
Right. Yeah. Ighzawi is 0-0 plus 450. That's all I have for him. I'm assuming Gummy has more somehow. Dulatov is most wanted. 1-0 with one knockout. This is his debut in Oktagon. Used fight at 170, minus 800. I'm missing something here, Gumby.
Yeah, so Dulatov is their new hype product. That's Islam Dulatov's little brother. Okay. And you'll remember Dulatov just won a UFC contract by beating the hell out of, now former LFA champion Vanilo Atunes, because he lost to Shamikhan Magomedov on Saturday. But like Dulatov is his little brother, and God, does he look a lot like him. I mean, like there are some parts of his game that are still a little raw. But like, 170 pounder at like 6'4", and every bit of 6'4", his arms are probably twice that. He hits you from a good distance. The difference between him and his brother, I would say, his brother has really learned how to use the elbows and like work those into his game. He is somehow still like kind of figuring out his like goofy long range. In the two fights I've seen of him, one AMI, one pro, people kind of crowded him a little bit and he didn't quite know how to either land the elbow or get away. But what he does have that heck might even actually be better than his brother, damn good body lock takedown and like good ground and pound, which, maybe Islam's got that in there too. But like his brother has definitely got it. So yeah, Tamerlan, I think it's one of those hype prospects that Oktagon's really high on. It got Ighzawi. Yeah, it was hard to find stuff on him. I did.
Yeah.
Because I can't even find an amateur fight, but I was able to find, apparently he represented Kuwait in some Sambo tournaments. So I saw some Sambo, which is like not that far from MMA, right? Because we get strikes and grappling in there. I don't think his grappling is going to be anywhere near what it needs to be to get Dulatov down. And that's coming from an art that leans on grappling more than anything. And like, he still kind of comes up short in that avenue. And then on top of that, like, I just don't think he can get inside of Tamerlan. Like, I don't I don't think he can get close enough. And that's given that Tamerlan has had trouble with that. Like, I think he's going to be even worse than Tamerlan's first couple of opponents in doing so. So I'm going to take Dulatov here. Yeah, he's a big chalky favorite, and he's only 1-0. But I mean, like, I think the Oktagon brass knows what they're doing here.
They're setting up people with squash matches is what they're doing here,
which is not usually their scene either. I will say, but these are a couple of pros. You know, they own Smajić one, and this is a guy they're going to be talking about for a long time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with some setup fights for fighters every once in a while. All right, that's the way it's supposed to work. All right, before we move on to our last two fights of today, Underdog Pick'em is one of the biggest menus for all sports. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boosts and gimme pick'ems. NFL, by the time you hear this, probably one more game. College basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, and more. And you now use specials on boosts and all flex entries. Gumby, even in your state, you seem to be holding up pretty good. Even in your state, do you have a play for the people?
Yeah, sure. So we got to go to NBA because we're running out of NFL games and we don't know who's in the Super Bowl at the time of recording this. So I'll head over to the NBA. We will take, let's see, I'm going to go with Khalil Ware. I'm a big fan of him.
Just picked him up on my fantasy team and he's coming through now.
Yeah, and they're playing the Magic. And, you know, Goga Patadze and Wendell Carter. You know, they're all right down low, but he's been picking up an absurd amount of rebounds lately. So I'm going to take the higher than on his rebounds. He had a rough last game. I'm expecting him to bounce back here.
All right. Take that. And more importantly, take our code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And SGPN's partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. If the NFL playoffs haven't been going your way so far, Rhythm will help you turn things around with 3 games left. 1 game left, probably by the time you hear this, maybe 2. No, I'm going out. 1 game left. The 3 best of the season. Rhythm's AI-powered predictions for prop bets and game lines will set you up for success through the Super Bowl. But do they have Pro Bowl props?
I don't know if they got. I don't know.
People really care about that.
It's not a real game anymore. I think they play flag football.
And imagine betting on that, though. I'm sure lots of people do that listen to us, but imagine betting on that. Worse than betting on the NBA All-Star game. They got NFL picks, NFL props, college basketball, and NBA. Rhythm has it all. Al Horford props, damn right. They got that too. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RTHMM. All right, back to the winning picks. We are moving on up. 170 pounds. Emir-Can Al from Germany. Viktor Kováč from, I think he's a Slovak Republic. Yes, Slovak Republic. 3 5-minute rounds. Let's break it down. Kovac, 0-0. How's that? 2-8 as an amateur. Oh, 1-0 as a pro grappler, plus 400. Al, the Turkish bull, is 1-1 with 1 knockout. Never been finished in a fight. Both those fights taking place in Oktagon. He did lose his last fight, minus 649. So we're getting, this is unusual for Oktagon to have so many like newcomers and small records on their cards.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm going to take Al, but I'm going to tell people who are thinking about throwing him in a parlay to avoid it. I know he's fighting a dude who is 2-8 on the AMI scene.
Yes.
And is now inexplicably decided to turn pro in one of the biggest organizations in Europe. But like, he's not bad. I've gone back and I've watched him because I was like, 2-8 as an amateur. What in the hell is he doing?
High level though. He fought
he fought one. He signed up for an IMMAF. Yeah, okay. But like, I think me and you can do that too. Like, I think we can sign up for those.
I could. Yes. I would just lie there, like you said. The one guy.
Yeah. But I think we could get in on one of those. But like, yeah, he didn't win any fights in those. But like, he throws wild hooks from the hip, and they're dangerous. And he's got like a really good offensive takedown game. His defensive takedown is like just freaking brutal. But his offensive takedown game is like pretty legit. And like, if you look back at like the couple of wins he's got, it's by just like bull rushing somebody, hitting a very brutal takedown. And actually, even in some of his losses, he hit early takedowns and just kind of didn't have enough to stick around for the whole fight. And with Alcon, the reason I like Kováč and I want to say like, don't go out there and just get in on Khan, is like his takedown defense should be good enough. But like, I've never seen him against a guy who is like so obviously just like a crazy berserker. So like, it should be good enough based on what I've seen of his takedown defense. But like, I also don't know. And then in addition to that, like he is obviously way more technical on his feet because I think just about everybody is. It like he's done really good of letting people overextend themselves and then like tagging them on the return, which I think is like gift wrapped against Kováč. But like, I just don't know when it looks that wild if he just gets sucked into it. And if he gets sucked into Kováč's fight, I can see Kováč tagging him. I can see Kováč hitting the takedown. I can see Kováč like weirdly winning 2 rounds somehow. Like I can see a lot of paths to victory for Kováč. I'm gonna pick Canal because I think he's going to tag him with something on the return, but I am not touching negative 649 on a parlay. Stay away from that.
This is a wild card we're breaking down here, Gumby.
Yeah,
wild times. All right. We got some close odds in the last fight we're going to cover today.
Well, we had some first Solaja's brothers.
That's right. Yep. The second Solaja brother. Are they one's older, one's younger? Are they twins? What are we talking here? Do you know?
I don't know. One's way bigger than the other.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he's one like the family fed, and the other one you don't get to eat. Daniel Solaja, he's from Germany. He's fighting Raphael Federico from where's he from?
Italy, right?
Italy, yes. Excuse me. Of course, he's virtuoso. Of course, he's from Italy. 3 5-minute rounds, 145. We'll tell you about after I finally get the right Federico, or it's Federico actually, no R. He is virtuoso. We'll see when he's in the cage. He's 5-0 with 4 knockouts. This is his debut. He's won 2 straight via TKO. Regional champion plus 105. Solaja, the other Solaja brother, 2-1 with 1 knockout. Never been finished in a fight. 0-1 in Oktagon. Win-loss win. This is his career. He's fight at 155 and 170. 0-2 is a pro kickboxer, minus 138. So Solaja brothers both have the same record. Is there a good Solaja brother and a bad Solaja brother or not?
Yeah, I think Zoran's better. Also, I was right originally. Zoran is the one who fought Marek Bartel. This is the one who fought Hrozik. I went back and looked. I was right about my breakdown. Feel good about it now. Good. Same style as his brother. Kickboxer, doesn't really like the takedowns. Weak on the takedown defense. And he's got an all right get up, decent clinch work. But, he's like his brother. He prefers the box. He doesn't like when people get into space. And that's why I'm going underdog here. I'm going to go with Raphael Federico. It's my lone underdog here on the undercard. I think it's hard to tell because his opponents, like if you look at his list of opponents and you look at what he's faced, it's bad. He's not fighting anybody good. He's fighting pretty bad dudes. But every fight I've seen, he's gotten like a halfway decent takedown. One of the fights I watched, he scored a takedown early in the first. Looked like he had like low hips and his control positions and all that kind of good stuff. Like I really had a lot of faith in what he was doing on the mat. And then the second round started on the feet and he floored the guy. And so like, that's a good sign because, I don't know that he's going to hang with a boxer on the feet, but it looks like he's got enough power that if he does tag him, it's going to at least demand respect. And, on top of that, I think he should be able to get some takedowns. So I'm going to go with Federico here as a slight underdog.
All right. Gumby made it. He technically doesn't have to talk the rest of the episode now if he doesn't want to. Here's a recap. Federico, Al, Dulatov, Solaja, one of the Solaja brothers, the one fighting Eliáš, and I think Zoran, his name was, and Smajić. There you go. The flu game. Gumby completed it. Thank you for coming to the show. Hopefully you didn't get infected by the Gumby. We can be found in the Discord, germ-free, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. On YouTube, of course. Be like our friend, Mr. Asplin. Hang out in the YouTube comments. Sports Gambling Podcast. Actually, MMA Gambling Podcast. We'll do that. You can go to Sports Gambling Podcast too and get all those great YouTubes as well. Make sure you subscribe to us. What else? Go to Twitter if you choose SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that for us. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm a Jeff Fox writer there and on Instagram. I got a Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Check it out. My UFC Pick'em contest will be up and running come up Monday. Again, they're free to enter that. Gumby's got Top Turtle MMA podcast. You actually do have to talk. I guess you don't have to. Do you want to plug your show or not?
Yeah, we're talking to a fighter who's on the main card of Oktagon 66, Denise Ilbay. And then we're also chatting with Kareem Abdul El Sawadi, who is fighting on this weekend's UFC Saudi Arabia card. All
right, so check it out. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Oh, store code, big game, of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And of course, remember, MMA SGPN is your code, MyBookie, and Underdog Fantasy there. We'll be back tomorrow if Gumby's still alive. We'll be Virtuoso Jeff Fox, Most Wanted Gumby Rhythm. We shall talk to you then.